Thank you, Madam Area Director. And weren't those hats beautiful? Again, welcome, Link Sisters. I am Vanessa Falls, Southern Area Vice Director. Today, we will learn from 6 dynamic women whose shoulders we stand on as part of the rich Southern area legacy that we enjoy today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your meal as we become empowered by their message. Join me as we welcome to our virtual stage Link Regina Jolivet Frazier, the 9th National President and 9th Southern Area Director. Link Katie Bell, the 13th Southern Area Director. Link Nancy Shade Anderson, the 15th Southern Area Director. Link Mary Curry, the 17th Southern Area Director. Link Enid Francis, our 18th Southern Area Director. And link Ann Turner Harriet, our 19th Southern Area Director and National Chapter Establishment Chair. We will start our first segment with Link Regina Jolivet Frazier and Link Enid Francis. Good afternoon, Link Sisters. Link Regina, I will ask you the first question. You hold the legacy as being the youngest Southern Area Director. What prompted you at such a young age to want to take on the leadership role of Area Director?
Well, Link Vanessa, I attended my first National Assembly about 3 months after my induction, and that did it for me. My number one attraction initially was physical. Stylish women of color in their hats and gloves discussing serious issues. That led me to a passion for the cause of friendship and service. I wanted to do my part. I wanted to make a difference. And last but not least, my mentor was absolutely brilliant, and I wanted to emulate her.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Link Enid, what advice would you give a Link sister who has the desire to serve in our organization? Link
Advice.
Enid? Okay.
Yes.
You're on me. Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay. Um, as I said, well, Link Vanessa, rather than giving her advice, we'd have a conversation. We'd start by discussing why she wants to become area director. It's very important that she understands the reasons behind her goal and whether those reasons relate to what is essentially a role of service. So we'd also talk about what she knows about the job of area director. Yes, it is a job, and you devote as much time to being the area director or even sometimes more than you do to your paying job. I'd ask her if she had considered whether she was able to balance the two, because that is absolutely important, and whether her job would understand if she needed to take days off to devote to being area director. We'd also discuss how being area director affects your personal life. If she had a husband and children, whether they would understand the time she took away from them for the links. Did she think that they would mind being put in second place sometimes? While I don't have any children, my mother wasn't always happy about the time I gave to the links. When I came home one time from an area conference, my niece picked me up at the airport and she told me that her grandmother said she was happy that all of the link stuff was over. Then she told me she told her grandmother that she hated to disappoint her, but I had run for another office. So I think my mother continued to be a little jealous of the time that I spent away from her. And then
Yeah.
after my mother became ill, as her caregiver, I needed to make sure that her needs were taken care of And if I couldn't, I wouldn't have been able to serve as area director.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that excellent advice. Link Regina, you once stated that the yardstick by which we as links are measured is global. So we must be radical. In today's time, what does a radical link look like?
By being radical, I meant then, and I still mean, we must affect the fundamental nature of things. We must be far reaching and thorough. We were founded on the principles of friendship and service. But for many years, we were also referred to as the links with the minks. But we still affected change by our serious pursuit of service. We were radical.
Absolutely. Excellent nuggets of advice. Thank you so much. Link Enid, under your administration, your programmatic thrust included mentoring children, giving them science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which is STEM, training so that they could succeed in college. The twist to this initiative is that chapters also provided programs that promoted STEM through an arts integrated approach. Why do you feel the arts was an important element to implement?
Yes, Link Vanessa, the southern area was one of the first in the links to turn STEM into STEAM. Uh, the goal of Mentoring with a Twist was to spark an interest among youth in STEM education and careers. But we were asking them to give up their Saturdays to learn about science, technology, engineering, and math. And I knew that unless we made STEM fun, they would probably lose their interest and we wouldn't see them after the first few Saturdays. But we know that with arts integration, which connects an art form with another subject matter area, young people say that learning is fun. So, through a nonprofit that I'd been involved with, I could see how children bloomed when the arts were introduced into the educational process. They were excited about and interested in what they were learning, and as a result, they became more connected and engaged in what they are learning. Their critical thinking and problem solving skills improved. Arts integration also made learning more memorable so it was more lasting. Arts integration also helps to enhance social and emotional growth and develops creativity and imagination. So the short answer was we needed the arts to pop to make the program work.
Well, thank you so much for making it pop for so many children. Link Regina, how can you inspire our young Link sisters to take on the position of leadership roles as they navigate their own responsibility of work, being a mother, wife, etc.?
Well, I think we can inspire them. And I'm of an age when my generation thought you could do everything. And you could if you possess the passion to do so. Today's young people don't seem to believe that, but I know they can if they really want to. I believe our job is to help them organize themselves to achieve whatever goals they set.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Link Enid, you were the first area director to add a mind, body, and spirit chair. Why did you feel this role was necessary?
Link Vanessa, we know that as women, we're always taking care of others before we think about taking care of ourselves, and links are no exception. So I asked the Southern Area Health and Wellness Chair to make Link Sisters a priority. And what she did was include an article in each issue of the e-zine, which featured healthy linking mind, body, soul, and make the connection. The column explored health issues pertinent to the mind, body, and spirit of African American women. And hopefully, we had, through that article, they were able to make themselves a priority in their own lives.
Thank you. And it is important that we do prioritize in our lives. Thank you, Link Sisters. We will now go to segment two, where we will hear from Link Katie Bell, our 13th Southern Area Director, and Link Mary Curry, our 17th Southern Area Director. Hello, ladies. Link
Well,
Katie,
yes.
your legacy focused on health, the Black family, and self esteem. What were the deciding factors that led you to choose those three issues as your focus?
But the very first thing, I have a dear, dear love for people. And I know the family is the sole glue that holds everything together. I'm a firm believer that those first 5 years of a child's life, that we must bring family together, and that molds a child for a lifetime. I have felt that way, and I continue to feel that way. And I do feel that within the Black family, there's so much going on. Our children are having children. Therefore, children are being reared by children, and they're doing the same thing as the children. That we have to get the message over that our children learn more about what they see rather than what they hear. And I continue to believe that. So it was important to me to get that message into the Black community to seal the Black family. Having grown up during the time that I was a child, uh, all the churches were Black. Everybody in the community went to basically the one or two of the churches there. So I felt that the church was an organization that the links could get a fellowship with and connect with in order to get the Black family to understand the importance of providing a quality life for your children and to do the right thing in front of your children. So that remained important to me even today, that children must be guided. And we have, I thought that having spent some time with the organization, I learned that there are so many children who feel left behind. They don't have confidence in themselves, that we now call self-esteem. But to me, it's believing in yourself. And the Black family is one of the sources, and the family is the source for getting these kids to have faith in themselves. Therefore,
Absolutely.
I thought we could always, from the organization standpoint, the links, and as well as the church partnering with them, get those children to participate in programs where they would succeed. And not only did you have mama and dad at home encouraging them, you had church members encouraging them, community people encouraging them. So it was my aim to develop a program that reached the community, that all of us could pull together to strengthen the family, so that our children will grow up with a very positive attitude and become productive citizens on their own merit, because I know I can do it.
All
And
right.
I
Wonderful.
continue to think that today we're losing a lot of our children because we are not providing for them that boost that they need, um, to believe in themselves. And
Absolutely.
we as an organization have planned programs, and I commend the organization through the years for all of our targets that address the family and our teenagers and our young adults, that we have continued to focus on how to build the strength within the family through not only within the household, but also within the community, in the schools, by participating in programs and providing programs that would allow the parents to participate and the children to really become involved and feel successful in what they're doing each day.
All right. Lynn Katie, we thank you so much for that initiative, especially that focuses on the Black family and the self esteem. Link Mary, Our next question is for you. Childhood obesity has become a major issue. Under your leadership, you chose to tackle this sensitive and critical area in the Black community and launched the Commission on Childhood Obesity Prevention. Explain why you thought this was an important issue for the Southern area to take on.
In my mind's eye, Link Vanessa, it had to be done, and it had to be done by the Southern area. Now, when I said all of that, I had no idea how true that statement was. I found out through research. What I found out through research was an eye opener. As an elementary teacher, I watched day after day in anguish as many of my children could not actually go up a flight of stairs without stopping to sit. But most of all, I watched as they were not chosen to be on a team with the other kids. They were ridiculed. Then this is what I found out. The states with the highest rates of children living in poverty have corresponding rates of children with obesity. The southeastern region of the United States is referred to as the Big Belt because of the high incidences of obesity among children and adults. The states with the highest rates, 33.75% and higher, are Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, all in the southern area. I tried to encourage, and chapters jumped in and tried to help. But as I worked involved, I came to understand that in order to have a sustainable outcome, it was going to require more than just our membership. That's when we decided to form a commission, bring in our best and brightest minds to do the work. We were finally being heard. Then along came a woman who got the whole world's attention. You may remember her, Michelle Obama. Yes, that woman. Her initiative became the prevention of childhood obesity. What a shot in the arm that was. As Mrs. Obama continued to make headlines around the world, more and more communities joined in, and people with money, athletes and movie stars began to have foundations. A whole lot of us, maybe in the hundreds, were invited to Washington to listen to her. I was fortunate enough to be standing at the right place at the right moment and was able to shake her hand and say to her that I was Mary Curry from the southern area of the Links Incorporated. She knew what the Links Incorporated were. And then the 15th National President, Margot Copeland, chose the prevention of childhood obesity as a national initiative. So we made an impact, and it is still and impacting children around. It's heartbreaking when you see how isolated many of these children are.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you for that wonderful initiative that became a national initiative and is so important even today. Link Katie, despite all the technological advances and communication techniques that have been developed and involved, what are the top three basic qualities that remain necessary for effective leadership in the Links Incorporated?
The links, like any other organization, if you're going to be an effective leader, first of all, you must be able to communicate your thoughts and your beliefs to your members. You must be able to provide for them honesty, what you are doing, and a mirror of what's going on in the administration, so people will trust you. And the third thing that I think is really important, to live a life and provide quality programs that will do the same that we have, what our purpose is, that we would do everything we can to improve the quality of life for children. And we will look for people and try to demonstrate what we do each day of our quality programs to enhance the lives of all citizens. So in order to be an effective leader, you must be able to communicate that to the whole world in order to get them to understand where we are and what we are doing and which way we are going and our whole purpose.
Thank you, Link Katie. Communication is key, especially effective communication. Link Mary, let us take a look into the future. Tell me one thing you would like to see happen in the Links Incorporated, particularly in the Southern area in the next 50 years.
Well, I have given this a lot of thought. In fact, it has kept me awake sometimes at night. I think some of us are choosing to forget the two pillars that our founders brought to us, friendship and service. We don't seem to know that friendship means that you respect each other. I say civility is not dead, but I think it's on life support. Some of us need to be reminded of a few things. Being kind, first of all, is not a weakness. And if I had the opportunity to talk to a group of young leaders, I would say, please do not use your gavel as a weapon by refusing to let members serve on committees because they disagree with you. Disagreements are healthy as long as they are done the right way. Nowhere is it written that a leader has to be mean, but sometimes we seem to think that's the way to manage it. Members, the president is the leader. Respect the position. If you need to disagree, do not use your chapter's meeting as a place to, quote, tell her off. If you're trying to show leadership, you're not doing it by disrespecting the president. It won't work for you. If you want to show your real leadership skills, act like a leader and be respectful. There's nothing wrong with deciding to run for office. Listen to all the people we just listened to. Aren't we grateful that they all decided to run for office? However, I really would like to see us do it with dignity and not feel that we had to undermine the other person to get there. So I think if we just remember that thing that we were taught before we could walk, treat others like you'd like to be treated. So I'm going to leave you with this quote. When the great scorer comes to mark against your name, it matters not whether you won or lost, but how you played the game.
Oh, excellent quote, Link Mary. Excellent quote to live by. Link Katie, your final question. Share the moment you knew you had the desire to run for Southern Area Director.
It was because of an activity for children. Our chapter had what we call a camp, where we invited a student to spend a week on the campus of Alabama State University. Uh, a Joan camp where they went swimming, played all kinds of games. They had art programs and etc. to build their just expose them to what life was really about. And there was one young lady that I will never forget that triggered me to say, I want to go further. She said, well, I am so glad I got a chance to come to this. All my friends are cheerleaders, they're this, that, and the other, and I never get a chance to do anything. But Miss So and so of Links invited me to this camp, and it has done so much for me. With my natural instinct for liking children and people, that said to me, Katie, you have something to offer. Because I do feel that the first thing for a leader, you have to like people. And I just felt that God had blessed me with some talent that, and my love for people, children as well as adults, that I could continue to do the purpose that I have learned as a member of Links and to communicate with people in the community and develop programs that would help our children continue to develop and to learn to like themselves and develop their own skills and to accept the fact that this is where you are and not try to compete with others. And that in itself, that little girl, that along with attending the national and area meetings and seeing how things were operated and what we were doing in our community, made me realize that now is the time. Now is the time to give of yourself in order to show that you care about people and this organization.
Well, we are very grateful for that young girl as well that, put that on your heart to run for area director.
You did
Link
it.
Mary, your final question. In an ever changing society, what do you foresee as the biggest challenge facing our organization today? And what do you feel is the best way to begin to work on it?
Well, I think the things I just said before. We've gotten bigger, but that doesn't mean that we can't be friends, and that we can't. What we are losing is the ability to communicate with each other. Emails are easy, and I guess sending a text is either even easier than that. And one of the problems I think that the emails have created for us. I don't want to sound negative because I love this organization and I just enjoy being a part of it. But I think emails have made cowards out of some of us because we can write something and send it and think there's no consequences, but you and I know better than that. I would just like for us to do a better job with our membership intake. Just because somebody has lots of money does not necessarily mean they are a great person. However, I know some people with lots of money and they are great people, but you have to take time to know who they are. Don't remember that this is somebody. Once we were talking about membership, and one of the younger members said to me, "What do we care if she's not coming into our chapter? She's going to blank chapter." And my comment to her was, "Well, you're going to have to sit next to her somewhere. Believe it or not, at an area or national meeting, that person may be sitting next to you, and so you need to think, but I'm not saying think in a mean way. I don't think that you have to uh, discuss a person's personal problems. That's not the way to do it. But don't bring a name into somebody because somebody else called you and asked you to do it, and you don't know anything about that person. So take time, and once you bring that person in the organization, please embrace her. Not we don't all come from the same circumstances or the same kinds of families, and I frequently say you really don't know what that person left at home. So if they seem to be a little off, take a minute, go over and put your arms around them. If you're not the touching type, just say, "How are you today?" And say it like you mean it, and it's not just something you say in passing. But no matter how large we get, we have to continue to think of this organization as one where we are friends.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your input and your wisdom that you've just shared with us. We will now go to the next segment, which will feature Link Nancy Shade Anderson, our 15th National, I'm sorry, our 15th Southern Area Director, and Link Ann Harriet, our 19th Southern Area Director. Link Nancy, during your tenure, cluster meetings were a well supported component. Why do you think they were successful, and what was the biggest benefit in participating in the cluster meetings?
While cluster meetings were not and are not recognized as entities in the Links Incorporated, my Southern Area leadership team sensed and observed a need to reinforce the bonds of friendship as well as extending them beyond our immediate chapters. The concept of friendship clusters was developed using the theme Gift of Friendship, coined by Link Betty Bradley Smith, which securely underpins one of our founding pillars, and thereby connecting and mobilizing our considerable service efforts. I believe the clusters were successful because they were viewed and promoted as a day to renew old acquaintances, make new friends, and enjoy a good meal and cocktail. Essentially, it was a safe harbor away from our this instant, quick, right now world. No obligations, no projects, just a relaxed day with friends.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Link Nancy. Link Ann, under your leadership, members successfully embraced three transformational signature initiatives: One Mission, One Love, Southern Area Loves HBCUs, and Link's winning the war on HIV. Because of Link sisters like Kamala Harris, Stacey Abrams, and Keisha Lance Bottoms, HBCUs are gaining the respect they have always deserved. What gave you the insight to get behind this push, even when it wasn't as popular?
Thank you, Link Vanessa. I loved all three of those initiatives. I was deeply committed to One Mission, One Love because it was our international mission across the miles to help others who looked like us but lived in other countries. It was a passion for me because um, we are so prosperous and we do so well, and a little from each person would have made the world of difference in the lives of others. I met a Link sister who shared with us in a group that because of the work of the Links Incorporated in the mission across the miles, she was able to start a better life in America and become a link. And I thought that was just phenomenal. So I love that initiative. Engaging in the fight against HIV/AIDS was really a prayer answered. I have been active for over 2 decades with combating the pandemic of HIV/AIDS, and finding resources to support that initiative just worked out to be a blessing for us all. So, as a graduate of an HBCU, this of course provided an opportunity for me to give back. For me, as an area director, giving back was important to everyone to engage, and everyone did. So, finding the resources and finding the support of the area to support this initiative, we were able to share with 55 HBCUs. Of course, my HBCU isn't in the southern area. However, we were dedicated to working and helping African Americans and HBCUs to do well.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Link Nancy, what were the two biggest challenges you faced as area director, and how did you overcome them?
Well, as with any incoming administration, the usual challenges were present. At the beginning of my tenure, we experienced some financial insecurity, and kudos to my Southern Area leadership team, hosting chapters, partnering chapters, and generous friends of the Links Incorporated for their support and financial resourcefulness. All of these groups and individuals gave generously of their time and treasure to ensure the success of area conferences, the leadership conference, cluster meetings, and general administration of the Southern area. As we began the new millennium, we realized chapter relations were fragile and in some cases volatile. There were many reasons for this, including a lack of information, inadequate communications, and or operating in isolation. Hence, the idea of the friendship clusters was initiated. Additionally, there were chapter visits to work on conflict resolution, organizational expertise, and chapter management. Further, the first electronic newsletter, Link Lines, was disseminated monthly, and as more links secured email addresses, an email directory was compiled by Link Jesse Jones and distributed to the chapters.
Thank you. Wonderful information for us to hang our hats on. Thank you, Link Nancy. Link Ann, how do you utilize what you learned as area director in shaping potential links as the present chapter establishment chair?
As area director, my role was to lead 80 chapters in the Southern area. As chapter establishment chair, my role is to establish chapters across all 4 areas. And I got to tell you, it's really exciting. Our mission is to develop and prepare groups to be viable chapters. And the chapter establishment committee works very hard. So if you would just think about what you do during membership intake and multiply that workload by the number of chapters we're taking in, I assure you there is never a dull moment. We work very hard to vet these chapters and make sure they are prepared to pick up the mantle and be good chapters in the Links Incorporated.
Great. Thank you, Lincoln. When you said multiply, my heart started beating fast. So I do understand. Link Nancy, your final question. The old adage is that history repeats itself. What is one repetitive factor you have witnessed in the links that you wished we didn't have to deal with?
Well, Link Vanessa, all too frequently we see women coming into the organization for the wrong reasons. Many seek to join our sisterhood for self aggrandizement. They fail to understand or practice or implement the twin pillars and the culture of the Links Incorporated. There may be a failure to support duly elected officers, an inability or reluctance to support to champion programming initiatives, and a disinclination to promote other links. Perhaps that's the reason we are admonished to be aware of who is brought into our chapter.
Thank you. Excellent, excellent advice. Lincoln, we all experience challenges and adversities. How would you advise leaders and those considering leadership roles to show strength during personal crises and adversities?
Yes, there is no balance when your center is impaled. What I would advise Link Sisters is to simply be prepared. Um, we always had a plan B, the leadership team that I worked with, and I'm very grateful to them for that very reason. We didn't stop, we said, oh, this will work. But then we always developed a what if scenario so that we'd have something to fall on. And sometimes the plan B actually worked out better than the plan A. At any rate, what I would say is keep your mission and your goal in the forefront of your thoughts. And then take one step at a time. Keep moving. Don't worry about what's going on. Just keep moving. And as you move, you start to reach your goal and you heal and you just keep going. Prayer works without a doubt, but one foot at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time.
Thank you for reminding us to always have a plan B and put one foot in front of the other, one step at a time. Thank you. Now we will bring all of the panelists back so that I can ask you all the same question and give you a few seconds to respond to that when we get everyone on. Okay. All right, what we will do is take in the order of your area position. So we will start with Link Regina, and then you will follow after that. What makes the Southern area special? Link Regina.
Well, Link Vanessa, home is always special because we know it best. We possess a certain refinement and pride of place. We never forget the role leadership and service play in our communities in the South. We understand from whence we came, so we always lift as we climb. And we also know that the events of January 6th can be a precursor to a return to the past if we are not vigilant.
Thank you. Thank you. Link Katie Bell.
Um, from my perspective, the special part of the southern area is the people, the members. I have found this to be a very warm and caring group of people. And that in itself brings about our desire to do whatever you can to help others, never forgetting from whence we have come, but really uh, leading a positive life that others will want to follow. And that's what I'm finding through our programs that we are exhibiting and presenting to the public, and the attention that we are giving to the younger people and to others who are in need of our help. It's We are people that wishes to improve the quality of life for everyone. Therefore, we are able to and willing to put forth an effort to do whatever is necessary to help improve and to educate our people as to how to continue to improve your life as an individual as well as the community. We are also a group of people who are willing to get out there and work. Sure, there are members in our chapter who are just there, but then the majority of them are willing to take the projects that we present and put forth an effort to get them done. But more than
Thank,
anything, we are caring people, and we are about helping each other and desire to improve the quality of life.
thank you so
That makes
much.
us special.
Thank you so much, Link Katie. Link Nancy.
Southern area leads. So said our beloved Link Julia Brogdon Purnell, 7th Southern Area Director and 7th National President. And she was correct. 10 national presidents were either elected while residing within the Southern area or have Southern roots. 2 national presidents served as area directors, and numerous Southern area members serve or have served on the national level. Link Bernice Martin, the first Southern area director,
Okay, I think, well, let's move on and we can come back to Link Nancy. Link Mary Curry. What makes the Southern area special?
To really know that the southern area is so special, go back to what Lake Nancy's saying. Look at all the leaders the southern area has produced. I like to think that so many of us in the southern area still remember our roots. And I'm going to use a word, I don't know if they use it anymore, but when I was growing up, it was home training. And you had to have home training. And of course, that was back when the schools were segregated and everything. So whatever kids missed at home, they frequently got at school. And we learned to help each other. We even now I've moved 14 times because of my husband's work, and I never move in any place and right away don't try to find my neighbors and say hello. That's that southern way of doing things. I don't cook a lot like I used to, but I still have people drop by the deck and just have a friendly conversation with people. We also have to work hard now to keep this going so that we remember that our meetings are supposed to be places where we enjoy going. So let's keep it that way. Let's make sure that everybody understands that we're coming to that meeting on Saturday morning because we have work to do, but also because we got to hug each other and make sure everybody's okay. So, as Lynn Katie said, the people, that's what makes the southern area so great.
Good, very good. Link Enid.
Link Katie and Link Mary agree that it's our membership that makes the Southern area special. We use the term programming is the heart of the links. Well, I believe that without our members, there would be no Links Incorporated. So it's because of our membership, the Southern area is great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Link Ann.
Wow, it is wonderful to be last on this question because I can simply say ditto to everything that was when I am out and I am describing Southern area links to others, I always say that it is not unusual for any member, whether they're from the Eastern, Central, or Western area, to be able to appreciate the Southern area. Why? Because everybody has a cousin from the Southern. Simply put, the Southern area gives you that feeling of home. If any of you are old enough to remember Stephanie Mills, about 10 years ago, she wrote a song called Home. Home is what a world full of love feels like. And for me, that's the Southern area.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, what can I say? I am so immensely proud to be part of this amazing and wonderful Southern area legacy. Link Sisters, I challenge you, as you have listened to these outstanding leaders, to know, now that you know your legacy, to continue to build on it. To our beloved panelists, Maya Angelou once said, if you're going to live, leave a legacy. Make a mark on the world that you can't be erased. You have indeed made a mark on the Southern area and the Links Incorporated that will not be erased. I want to thank you on behalf of myself, our Southern Area Director, Link Sylvia Carter Perry, Team 20, and the 4,000 plus members of the Southern area for you sharing your wisdom that helped shape and sustain our wonderful Southern area. We are forever grateful. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the 46th Area Conference par excellence.